up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Nicole and I love makeup. I love especially colorful indie makeup, and this is what this video is all about. Today I'm doing two looks with the new Nomad Pacific Northwest palette, and this is so beautiful. The packaging is just stunning. It looks like a Bob Ross painting and I love that. It's so pretty. Also, the inside is pretty. I'm showing you some close-ups and swatches right now. Nomad is always supporting with their releases a cause related to the destination they're visiting with their palette, and this time is at the Conservation Northwest. They protect, connect, and restore wildlands and wildlife in the Pacific Northwest. And I think that is a really great cause. And yeah, I'm always happy to support Nomad because they're donating, they're giving back to the destinations they're visiting, and I think that's just such a nice thing to do. But if you want to get this palette or any other palette from Nomad, you can use my code Nicole if you want to save 10% on your next Nomad order. But now, without any further ado, let's just jump into the first look with this beautiful palette. I'm so excited to use this palette now for the first time. I'm so in love with this color story already, and I really want to play with these more very cool toned shades right here. Like, they are kind of teal, but I think they have a little bit of a gray undertone. I didn't swatch this palette yet, but I think I have a feeling that I really will enjoy these shades. So I'm starting with the deepest one right here, called Leaping Orcas. I just start by putting this in the outer corner and building it up. I love a shade like this. This is a very blue leaning shade that has a little bit of green in it, but I feel like also a little bit of this gray undertone, and I really do enjoy that. So I'm putting this in the outer corner, and I also start blending it by itself. I really love Nomad shades. I feel like I don't necessarily need a transition shade with Nomad shades because they just blend so nicely by themselves. But of course, we will use a transition shade anyways because we have some in this palette, and I really do enjoy this. Wow. Now to blend this out, I want to use this light pastel blue, grayish blue shade called Columbia River George. I really love a shade like this. This is such a good shade. And of course, it performs like all the Nomad shades always do. It's very pigmented. And this is just such a beautiful grayish blue shade, and I love that. I really do love that. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow shades, and I love that a lot of palettes lately that came out this year had shades like this in it. I already love this look so much, but now I'm taking a clean blending brush and I just blend out this lighter blue even more. I'm so happy with these shades. I thought when I saw this palette online that these blue shades would be more green than they actually are. I really love these shades of blue. Also, we need to talk about these embossings. Like, look at this for example. I use quite a bit of the shade and the embossing is still really present. Like, these embossings go like really deep into the pen, so you will have these embossings for a few uses, and I really do enjoy that because a lot of the time if a palette has embossings, they're like gone after one use, and it's like a little sad because they look so pretty. But I think some of these embossings, especially in the matte shades, will last you quite a while. I also really want to use some of the green, so we are going into this very yellow leaning, like, pastel green. It's called Pacific Crest, and I'm just taking a little bit and I'm putting this in the front part of my crease, and then I want to blend the green and the blue together. And I think to bridge these two shades, I want to go in with a different green, with the Olympic Mountains, this more blue toned green. And I'm just taking a little bit of that and I'm just putting it between the blue and the more lighter green. Okay, I really quickly did the same on the under eye, And I want to put on an inner corner highlight, and I just want to use this green, yellow green shade we also used in the front part of the crease, and I just want to put it in the inner corner as well. I think that looks really, really nice. I really do like the shade. I love that it has so much yellow in it. It's just giving such a nice contrast to the blues. It's stunning. I'm really unsure which shimmer shade I want to use because these are all so pretty. Like this is a really stunning multi-chrome shade, but I think I don't want to use it in this look. I might use this very deep, almost a black a green shimmer, or this one. I think this one would go better with the blue. And then in the front part, this one or this one, but but I'm really unsure what I should use. Nomad always puts so many really cute shimmers in their palette. It's so hard to decide which one you want to use with your look. But that's a good problem. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good problem to have. I think for the outer part, I want to start with this one, and then I want to use this shade. I think these two will go very well with the blues we have going on, and also this one will look really good with the green we have in the inner part. And maybe we could use a little bit of this sunbreak shade in the inner corner. I think that is a good plan. Starting with the Crater Lake shade. Oh, this is pretty. I've swatched this on the back of my hand to get a feeling for it, but it looks so much better on the eye. I really do like this shade. This was a good decision. And I'm just using my finger to blend this out a little bit, going in with a brush later to blend this out even more. And then I'm going in with the Cascada shade. And I'm putting this in the middle and front part, also with a finger. I also swatched this, and this also looks so much better on the eye. I honestly think Nomad in the latest palettes, like for 2 years now, has done such a great job with the shimmer formulation, and I think they're getting even better with every palette. They're so good, and the best part is they look intense, they're fun, they have shifts to them, but they don't crease. And I love that because a lot of these indie shimmers lately, they tend to crease on me. And a lot of the times I don't mind that because you can just tap them out and they look fine again. But especially if you have a longer day and you just want your makeup to last, like this Nomad formulation is it's just amazing. I'm taking like a flat brush and some of this shimmer Crater Lake shade, and I just use it a little bit on a brush to just blend the edges. I always like to put on a shimmer with the finger to get the most intense look. But it's always nice to go over it with a brush to just blend it really seamlessly into your mattes, especially like here in the outer corner, or using a brush to blend these shimmers together. I think that's always a good idea to go back in with a brush and to just take a little bit of time to blend. Same thing with the Cascadia shade. I think I pronounced it wrong the first time, but that's okay. And I just take a little bit on the same brush. I just wipe it off a little bit, and I just go around the edges to make this really blended. With this look, I don't want to have any sharp edges. I just want everything to be blended together really nicely. And I love a combination like this. Like I love this blend from blue to green to like this yellow, but this is more of a yellow green, but still I really enjoy this color combination and this gradient from these shades. I really love a look like this. I'm in love with this palette, and I saw this color story and I was in love the first time I saw it, and now using it I'm even more in love. This is everything I want in a palette. It's blues, it's greens, kinda yellow. I feel like especially on the eye and inner corner it looks very yellow, but it's like this yellow green shade. And then we have some neutrals, a really great deepening up shade. Like this color story is so good. It's so good. I don't know if you can see it, but I have quite some fallout with these shimmer shades. Like this happens if you blend them like I do. You get a little fallout. I don't mind. I actually like a little bit of glitter on my face, but I just try to wipe it away a little bit to see if I can get rid of it. No, it's stuck. It's stuck to my face. As I said, I don't mind a little bit of glitter, but if you do, you should not blend it as much as I did, or you just should do your eye makeup first. But I also think I want to use this Cascadia shade as a highlighter. I think this will look amazing. But now let's finish up this look by putting down this Sunbreaker shade. I'm putting this a little bit on like a small brush, and I just a little bit pop this in the inner corner and also a little bit on your lower lash line. I think this will look really cute. Yeah, I do love this. I feel like this intensified the yellow in this green matte we put down and makes it look a little bit more yellow, which I think looks really nice with this look. But now I will finish this look up. We'll apply a little bit of lipstick, and I think this eyeshadow as highlighter will look really good, and then I will be right back. Okay, this is the finished look. I'm so in love. I'm so in love. To me, no other look. I think no other look can beat this. This is so me. I love this color combination. This is perfect. I know I still want to do a second look, so let's jump right. Okay, for this second look, I'm craving some greens, so I will use this deeper green shade right here. We also use this in the first look, but just a little bit. It's called Olympic Mountains, and I'm taking this and I'm putting this in the outer corner, and I think this is a very pretty green shade, and I really enjoy it in this palette because it's quite, I would say this is quite a neutral green shade, and depending on what transition shade you would use with it, you can either make it a little bit more of a warmer green look or cooler green. And today we are going to make it a cool toned green look. So I'm just building this up in the crease as well and just taking some time blending it out. This green is such a stunning shade. I really do enjoy this. This is just the perfect green shade for me. I love it. Next, I'm using this shade right here. It's called Towering Sea Stacks, and I use it to blend out this green. And this is actually like a blue, greenish, gray type of shade. And I think this will make this green a little bit more cool tone, and that's exactly what I want for this look. I'm just putting this shade on the edge of the screen. Yeah, it's exactly giving this effect that I wanted it to give. Okay, so this is getting quite blue, so I'm going back into with the green we initially used, and I just go over top of everything to give it a little bit more green pigment back. So I'm blending these two shades together quite a bit. Now I'm taking a clean brush and I just want to blend the edges of the pastel shade a little bit more, so we get a really smooth blend, and I really like how this blend between the green and the blue turned out, because this is exactly what I was talking about. It's just this green is such a great neutral green shade that you can mix with other shades um to give the look the undertone you want. Like you can go even more blue in this palette, or you can go quite warm green with this other pastel shade. So you have a lot of options in this palette, and I really do enjoy that. Now I want to deepen this look up a little bit more, so I'm using this shade right here. It's called Sasquatch Sighting. I hope at least that's how it's pronounced. And I'm taking a little bit of that and I'm putting this in the outer corner to, yeah, just make this look a little bit deeper, and this is exactly what this look needed. I just really quickly did the same on your lower lash line, and now I'm taking the pastel shade we've used to blend out the green, and I put this in the inner corner. I think that looks fine, but I think for this look it looks a little bit too blue and a little bit too intense. So I'm going in with this shade right here. It's called Foggy Forest, and I'm also using a little bit of that and just put it on top to mute the shade a little bit. I think that looks way better. And now I would say it's time for some now it's time for the shimmer, and I want to use this one. This looks so beautiful to me. It's like a black base with some green and purple shifts to it. And I'm just putting this on my eyelid, and I'm focusing it on the middle. I don't want this to be too overpowering, and I think I might use a different shade in the more inner part. This looks really, really stunning. I really do enjoy a deep shade like this. This so pretty. So now where I've applied this, I'm going just in with a small brush and just blend it a little bit into the mid. I want to use some lighter shimmer in the more inner part to open this eye look up a little bit. So I'm using this shade right here. It's called Canyon Beach, and I'm using this on a pencil brush, and I'm going to spray this pencil brush with some setting spray to make this more intense, and I'm just putting this in the very inner part. I think this finishes up the look. So I just finished up this look. I put on some mascara. I put the shimmer on my lower lash line as well, the lighter one. And I put a liner in the waterline. And I stabbed my eye with, with mascara. It hurt so much. But I'm glad that this one isn't tearing up. And that's all that matters to me right now. I really, really do love this look. It is such like I love greens like this cool tone because I think it goes way better with my skin tone than these warmer greens. Before I talk too much about the color story and the colors in this palette, let's just zoom out and finish up this video. This palette is an absolute banger. I haven't used all of the shades to be fair in this one. I've just used some of the blues. I would call these a blue. And some of the greens. I haven't used this one, for example. All of the other mattes I've used, and then there's some shimmers I haven't used yet, and I haven't swatched the palette yet, so I'm doing that later. But the shimmer formula of the shimmers I've used are the Nomad shimmer formula that I know and love from so many palettes over the last year. Hadn't they had just a normal shimmer formula in the beginning, but they stepped it up so much over the last 1.5, 2 years, and the shimmers continue to be amazing. I'm in love with these shimmers, and I do expect the other shimmers to perform as well as the ones I've used. If they don't, I will let you know in a future video. This is such an amazing color story. I really love it. I think this color story is done in such an intelligent way because you have four shades I would consider blending out shades, and you have them in a variety of different undertones. You have like these more cool tones, you have a more neutral option, and you have this very warm yellow leaning green you can use for blending. And I think that gives the palette such versatility. Like you see with this look, I've used quite neutral green tones, and I've made them quite cool toned by just blending it out with this cool tone grayish green shade. I could have made it even more blue, or I could go in a very different direction and just made it a very warm leaning green look. I think that gives the palette a lot, a lot of options. Speaking from the color story, this might be my new favorite from Nomad. It's just such a great palette, and it has everything in it that I love and want. This palette is freaking amazing. I absolutely love it. I really love it. I love both looks I've created with this palette. I think the first one was my favorite because it was a little bit more creative than this one, but I really craved this monochromatic deep foresty green look. If you are interested in getting this palette, you can use my non-affiliate code Nicole to save 10% on your next Nomad order. And I forgot to mention that I ordered bundle with the mug and the beanie. The mug and the beanie didn't arrive yet. I don't know. I think they aren't even shipped yet, and I find it a little weird. I think that's a little weird, but it's just how it is. I hope that they will come in the next days, but yeah, the palette is the main thing today. And one little critique I have about the palette is, I hope you can see, is this. It is um, a problem I've sometimes with Nomad palette. I really love them, and I really love the packaging. The packaging is so great, and I think it's so sad that sometimes this paper in the inside of the palette is glued on so tightly that you rip off the paper by folding the mirror back. And I always like to do this. First of all, it's easier to hold in camera, but also it's way better to put it on the desk like this because it just takes less space. So I always do this. I've done this for years, even before I did social media. I just like to flipping the the lid back, so I have more space, so it takes less space on my desk. And this isn't the only Nomad palette I've had this with. I also had this quite extremely with the Haunted Europe palette, and you can see this, like, this paper completely ripped off. And at this time, I opened this palette and I could feel that it was quite stiff, so I cut I cut it a little bit so I would avoid it getting ripped like this. So it's ripping a little bit more controlled, you could say. Um, I've talked to a friend of mine who always also uses a Nomad, and she said she has the same problem sometimes with the palette. Sometimes they rip over time, sometimes they rip right away, and sometimes they're good. Like, I just wish, I just wish they wouldn't glue this paper on so tightly that it rips when you flip the lid back. Because I think it's so sad. The packaging is so beautiful, and this kind of is ruining the experience a little bit, at least for me. Um, but other than that, I really love this palette. I really love the palette. I really love what is actually inside of it, and I like the outer packaging. And the outer packaging feels so high quality that it's even more sad that this happens. You know what I mean? Okay, but this only happens sometimes with Nomad palettes. Not every palette I have from them has this problem, but I still wanted to let you know because it can happen. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!